Healing Hole, the podcast. I'm your host, Callie. I'm a health and wellness expert, a certified personal trainer, and holistic health coach. I also happen to be extremely passionate about holistic healing. With over 13 years of experience, I've worked with clients from all walks of life. I also know a healing and holistic lifestyle can be a little overwhelming. I'm here to break it down for you and take you on my journey to healing whole. Remember, the materials and content within this podcast are intended as general information only and are not to be considered a substitute for medical advice or treatment. Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of Healing Whole, the podcast. It is back. I am here. I know you've all missed me so terribly much. Just kidding on that one. I hope you missed this podcast, and I hope you're as excited as I am about it. This podcast, this particular episode of this podcast is going to be just focused on kind of where I've been, where I am, and where I'm going in the future. And I'm going to introduce some of the guests that I'm going to be speaking with on the next few episodes, and just kind of what's happening now in my world. So I'm excited you're here. I'm excited, like so excited to be back and to be recording this again. And there's just so much on the horizon, and it's so much that I can't wait to share with you. So yeah, I have not done this podcast in a couple years. I honestly can't remember the last episode. I will look it up, but I haven't done this podcast in quite a few years. I kind of let it fall to the wayside a while ago, and I don't know why. I think I was just burning the candlestick at both ends. And the last time I filmed this was December 5th of 2020 was the last time I dropped an episode. So it's been 3 years almost when this comes out. I was burning the candlestick at both ends, and I was really burning out just mind, body, soul. And I needed to take a step back, which kind of puts me to where I am now. So right now I'm sitting at my home in Sarasota, Florida, that I share with my little family. And I am happy to report that I am happy. It was a long journey. These last 3 years have been a lot of ups and a lot of downs and everything in between. And I'm super ready to share that and super ready to share where I'm going. So yeah, I guess since the podcast launched last, I had that physical space in Connellsville, Pennsylvania, which is where I'm from. After I was born in Cleveland, and then I moved to Pennsylvania, a small town called Connellsville, PA, when I was about 4 years old. And I lived there until I'm just going to preface you with places that I've been and gone because it has a point, I promise. I lived there until I was about 20. And then when I was, 18, I went to college and stuff. But when I was 20, I moved to New York City, and that's where I really fell in love with the trade of personal training, and the career of personal training and really helping people heal. And that's where it all started. So I did that for a long time in New York. I became a fitness manager. I was managing a team of 20 trainers or plus traveling trainers underneath me. And it was beautiful and it was fantastic. And then some really unfortunate events happened, and I had to go back to PA. And I am happy I did, because I got to really experience a lot of things in that process of going to New York and then leaving New York. So when I was in PA, I still did my training stuff. I still met with clients. I was always in this world. So I've been doing it for the last 13 years. Like I express in the intro to this podcast. I have been in the industry for over 13 years now, and it has been a beautiful journey that has led me to a lot of healing and helping others on their healing journey and just holding space for them. So I did move. So I was really into movement, right? I've always been really into movement. I was very active as a child. I danced, I played soccer, I was in different types of theater and things like that, but I was always moving my body. I cheerleaded, did all the activities. And then I got out of high school after soccer, and I had so much energy and I didn't know what to do with it. So I used the outlet of the gym and running as a way to kind of manifest that energy into something healthier than what I could have potentially manifested it into otherwise. And that's when I really fell in love with exercise and moving my body for my mind, body, and soul, as opposed to just moving it for a sport or something. Although that's great too. There's just so much more to it than just that for me. So after I left college, like I said, I went to New York, and then when I left New York, I went back to PA, and I started working with clients in a one-on-one capacity there, and a group capacity there, and it was fantastic. But I decided to move to Washington State to be with my college sweetheart, and he was in the military there, so I moved there and kind of put that on hold for a little bit, but still was working on myself in the gym. But I fell in love with nutrition there, which was really cool because they have all these co-ops and things like that that show you like they just I started to learn where my food came from, and that's where I fell in love with the foundation of a whole food based way of eating. Um, because there's so much energy put into making our food and growing our food. And if we can really just look at food as an energy thing, as opposed to a good and bad thing, and or a healthy and unhealthy thing, it helps serve me so much more, at least. And I hope it helps serves you as well on this journey, if you can just kind of shift that mindset. But that's where I fell in love with food and eating, um, to serve my body and fuel my body, as opposed to I'm going to eat this and so rigid because it's good, and not eat that because it's bad. Um, and I really shifted my mindset there and began to intuitively eat and mindfully eat my food. And then from there, I went back to PA. All roads always lead to home. I went back to PA, and I worked part-time in my business and part-time in other things here and there. But the one constant has always been health and wellness in my life. But I began to fall in love with spirituality, and I had my spiritual awakening. If you never listened to the podcast before, I'm going to keep it kind of light in this episode, but I am diagnosed bipolar 1, and I have depression and anxiety and possibly a bit of OCD. Um, I'm still figuring that out with my therapist. But I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in November of 2018, a year after my daughter was born. And I do not believe that it was an effect of postpartum depression or anything. I do genuinely, wholeheartedly believe that I have been bipolar since I was a child. Um, and I have survived suicidal thoughts since I was a child. So there will be mental health discussions throughout this podcast episode and throughout this podcast as a whole. If that makes you uncomfortable in any way, I invite you to maybe turn the podcast off, because I am very open about my diagnosis, and I will continue to be open about my diagnosis and sharing the things that helped me heal, and sharing the hard stories that helped me heal and continue to help me heal. Because I don't believe we're ever really truly healed, right? I think that it's a journey, and things change and evolve over time, and we have to continue to change and evolve with them. So I came back to PA after Washington, and I got pregnant with my daughter, and I had her obviously 9 months later. While I was doing the personal training thing, I was full-time into it. It was a beautiful experience. It really was a cool pregnancy it was cool to experience how strong I was as a woman being pregnant. And what I could still do with my body. And I didn't have limits that I thought I would have. So I had her, and we had a beautiful first year, and she stayed home with me, and I loved every moment of it. It was very difficult. It was very hard because I was a single mother. I didn't have a lot of help with her, as my parents had moved away. So for that first year, it was just a lot of us, but it was a lot of connecting and a lot of us learning each other, and me learning her learning me, and us just making a life for ourselves. And that was really a beautiful experience. But November of 2018, I was in a really, really dark place, and it was actually Thanksgiving. Of life more intentionally, and to journal with intention, and to be grateful for even the smallest of moments. And that was my initial download was, Callie, what are you grateful for right now? In this moment, at this time of your life, what are you grateful for? What do you have to be grateful for? I was grateful for a plastic bed. that I was sleeping in. Because I had somewhere to sleep. I was grateful for the air I was breathing. I was grateful for the cafeteria food that I was given to eat. And I was grateful for my diagnosis because I finally had an answer to a prayer that I had been praying for so long, and a problem that I've been praying for so long to be solved. Um, but I left that stay in the hospital, and I went home, and it was hard. It's still sometimes hard to you live away for so many years, right? And then you have to relearn how to live once you have a diagnosis like that. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's not like a magic cure and you take some pills and go to some therapy and it's like, oh, I'm healed. I had to relearn how to live. And that took me, it's still taking me time. So it's 5 years and it's still taking me time. Is it almost 6 years? No, it's almost 5 years. Um, but yeah, so I had a few more ins and outs of the hospital over time, and I had a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But again, the one constant was my health and wellness journey and my journey to heal whole, which is the whole point of my business, is healing whole mind, body, and soul. So it's a space where you can be held, this podcast, my membership, my retreats, is a space where you can be held and feel safe and feel seen, and to heal the parts of you that might be scary to heal, but to feel a little safer healing them, and to healing as a whole, mind, body, and soul. So I do believe it's a combination to really live your best life. It's a combination of healing a little bit of everything. And I'm not going to say that I'm one guru to heal it all. I really specialize in movement and nutrition, with a bit of mindset and a bit of spirituality in all that mix. But those are my specific specialties and my specific craft that I'm really honed in on and have become really an expert in over the last 13 years. So I was in Pennsylvania. I had two beautiful physical locations. One to start with that was smaller, and then one I expanded into, and it was a really great journey, but something was still missing for me, and I was still pouring from a very empty cup. I never learned how to prioritize myself, and I never really learned how to set boundaries with myself and with others. And I never really learned self-love yet, because I went so long hating myself because of the illness that what I had in my body and my mind. I never got to experience that kind of self-love. So I decided to burn it all to the ground, not literally, burn it all to the ground. I left Pennsylvania almost 2 years ago and decided to come to Florida, and that's where I am now. And it has been a amazing journey. I have learned so much about myself, so much about my past, so much about my healing. This is the place that I fell in love with myself, which is so funny because when I came down here for mental health breaks over the years, I always loved myself a little more. And I'm still figuring out why. I almost think I just had to remove myself from the place where I hated myself for so long to find that self-love. So I moved here 2 years ago and I left everything behind. I did not do anything in regard to health and wellness, and as far as my business or as far as my body goes. I still was very into spirituality. I was very into mindset shifting, but as far as personal trainer, I was never going to do it again. As far as a nutrition coach, I was never going to do it again. I was like, I'm leaving that life behind. I'm done with it. It burnt me out. It took me down. I was not going to do it again. And then I just did life. Like I was just kind of going through the motions. I was going to work, working a 9 to 5, enjoying the beach. And then I thought, God, something is missing and I don't know what it is. And it was my passion, which has always been health and wellness. And I was scared to dive back into my business. So I thought, what people think about me? I quit, I left, I abandoned, I was selfish, I did things for myself. And then, but the loudest message I had and the resounding message I had was, I don't care. I don't care. I need to do this for me. And that is when I truly started to stop giving a shit about what other people thought about me and started to care what I thought about myself and making myself proud every day. and loving myself first and setting boundaries with everyone, even myself. So that would have been about January of this year, 2023. I really dove into my work again and myself again, and really pushing my limits and my boundaries and setting new expectations of myself and new goals for myself, and getting back into the things that I love doing, which is this whole world of healing whole. I relaunched my business in about February of 2023, where I just kind of like slowly dabbled in posting on Instagram and social media and all that good stuff. And then in the summer, I was like, I'm done. I got it. I know it. I'm ready to dive deep. And I've always had this download for the Healing Whole membership, but I never really knew the structure. And I finally found the structure, and I found a way to serve people as a whole in a large demographic, um, geographically speaking. And I just found it. And then I started planning this retreat in December, which will be a month out from when this podcast drops, about 6 weeks out, 5 weeks out. But everything is just magically somehow fallen into place, and I'm thrilled about it. I'm happy that I moved here. I'm happy that I left Pennsylvania when I did. I am happy that I was brave enough to listen to myself and listen to my gut and my soul and my calling to do this. I'm also happy where the journey is going to take me next. So I'm going to share a lot of that throughout the next few episodes. And I'm going to share a lot of my journey and my story with you, as well as the journey and stories of others. But what I wanted to share today is what's going on in my world currently, and how you can join this world of healing whole outside of just this podcast, if you so choose to, if you feel called to. So yeah, I have a membership called Healing Whole, the membership. It's a beautiful membership where it's a safe space to be held and to heal as wholly as possible, and to trust yourself and your intuition, and be divinely guided to the place that you want to be and grow into in this lifetime, and hopefully in the next. But I hope it carries on for that long. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so it's a membership where we focus on mind, body, soul healing. There's a lot of mindset, movement, and nutrition in it, along with spirituality. You do get 4 mindful movements a week. So we do 3 hype classes, which is my branded mindfulness-based bootcamp class that I created years ago, right when Annalise was born, so about 5 years ago. So that's my hype class. And then that's 3 times a week. And then there is 1 yoga class a week. And then on top of that, we have monthly healings. We have monthly nutrition master classes taught by me and other guest speakers. So the nutrition masterclass will be held I believe the November 7th with Bailey. They are a mental health professional, providing mental health mentorship within and outside of the membership, as well as a yoga instructor and so many other things. They are so overqualified and overexperienced to help you. It is insane. And they have been there, and they have done the work, and they have processed through it all, and they are here for this journey with you. So they're going to be leading that masterclass the week after this podcast episode drops. And then we have 2 Q&As a month where we can kind of get together and chat about our wins, our hurdles, how we can get over those hurdles, celebrate our wins, come together as community, and all that good stuff. And then we have new moon meditations and visionings. We have full moon healing and releases. We have healing collectives every month. This month, we are going to be doing a protection practice masterclass as well. So each month there are different journeys we'll take, right? And then also we're doing a gratitude challenge this month over in a private Facebook group. If you're interested in that, I highly invite you and encourage you to join in on that. But we're going to do 14 days of gratitude. Excuse me. where there will be two options. To do the free option, you will get daily gratitude prompts, and you can watch the live videos that I will be releasing every Friday and Tuesday, or during the challenge, or you can upgrade to the VIP experience, where you can actually get in the Zoom room with me and you can ask any questions that you might have along the way, or leave any comments that you might have. So those are some options to work with me as well. And that is outside of Healing Holder membership and inside of Healing Holder membership. So when you're in Healing Holder membership, you can join any class that I offer that's included in your membership. It's included in the price of your membership, so you don't have to pay any extra. Healing collectives, for instance, are $33 a month. The VIP option for the gratitude challenge will be $22. So you get in all of that included in your monthly membership fee. So that's our first option. And then our second option is Healing Whole Inner Circle, which is kind of like a group mastermind program. It's everything in Healing Whole the membership, as well as one-on-one with me a month, and then 2 mastermind calls a month, where we'll come together and really dive deep into what we're going through, what we're journeying through, and how we can make it the best journey that we could possibly make, and how to really get to our goals in a sustainable and achievable way. And then you will also get Healing Whole the retreat included, which is happening in December 8th, 9th, and 10th on the Gulf Coast of Florida, down here in Florida with me and with Jesse Wagner, who will be on episode 2 of Healing Whole the podcast. So I invite you to check that one out too. Next Wednesday. And then on top of that, you have the upgrade, Healing Whole the upgrade, which is your kind of like your top tier, most intensive program. You will get everything included that I have spoken about earlier, as well as 4 one-on-ones a month. So we will meet one at a time weekly, where we will dive deep into your goals. You will get a spreadsheet every week with notes on the calls, my thoughts. You will get workouts each week outside of the membership workouts, as well as a nutrition journal and a gratitude journal included in that. So that's what you have to look forward to as far as working with me. And then we have Healing Whole the retreat, which is happening December 8th, 9th, and 10th again. And it is going to be the most magical experience. I actually just got off the call with Jesse, and we discussed all things that we'll be going through in the retreat, and feeling through in the retreat, and experiencing in the retreat, and being in the retreat, and how we want everyone to leave, and how we want them to leave feeling, and going into 2024 completely clear on what they want 2024 to look like, and completely ready to receive in 2024. So if you're interested in any of that, I will drop all the information in the show notes. Yeah, I'm super excited. So where I'm going, right? I don't know. I know I'm going to keep this membership going for a really long time. I plan to host quarterly retreats. Next year, we're planning February, a self-love retreat, a summer solstice retreat. So January, February, March, April, May, June. So summer solstice retreat in June, a birthday retreat for me in August, and then another health and wellness retreat in December. And they'll be all over. There'll be some in Florida, some in Pennsylvania, and some on the West Coast as well. So, yeah, I know that the journey is just starting, and I'm really just kind of cracking open on this business. And there's so much more I want to tell you. I just can't tell you yet. But I'm really excited. I'm really happy you're here for the journey. And I really highly encourage you to reach out if you have any questions, or if you need anything at all. You are so loved and held on this journey, and you are so safe. And I just never want you to feel like you aren't alone. There is always a community waiting for you, whether it be the community that I hold space in, or a community that someone else holds space in. There is a community for you. And I believe you can find that here on this podcast, because there are so many health and wellness experts that I'll be bringing in that have spaces for you to join. But yeah, I'm really excited. I love you all with my whole heart, and I can't wait to take this journey with you. But other than that, that's it. You find me on Instagram, CallieTony _ or on Facebook, just CallieTony, and online at callietony.com, or you can email me at callie@callietony.com. And again, all this will be in the show notes, and I'm so excited again to take this journey with you. I love you, and thank you for joining episode 1 of Healing Whole, the podcast. I will check you all out next time.